Universalist Church in Hillcrest, and I'm active with Uptown Faith Community Services, which is work with the homeless and poor.
I'm Salvation Logan, and I attend Christian College.
I'm Howard Singer, and I'm a member of the San Diego County Diversity and Inclusiveness Group.
I'm Joan Holland. I'm a San Diego Friend Quaker, and I volunteer here at I.C.W.J.
My name is Shirley Farrell. I'm a United Methodist, and my home church is in Nashville City.
My name is Michelle Park. I'm the pastor at Trinity United Methodist Church in North Park.
I'm Sister Justine Church, Medical Mission Sister, and a founding member of this organization.
My name is Adriel Sanchez. I'm a church planter with the Presbyterian Church in America here in North Park.
And I found him to go to the same gym.
That's right, yeah.
Awesome.
I'm Michelle Whitman. I'm not affiliated in the congregation.
Carol Morales, and I'm with the Church of San Diego.
I'm Vicki Riggs, and I'm with Plymouth Congregational Church and the wife of Dwayne Riggs.
I'm Kate Mullinger with the Mission Hills United Church of Christ, and I volunteer with I.C.W.J.
I'm Gary Navoy.
Loud voice, Gary.
Gary Navoy, novelist, and no denomination.
I'm B.J. Coleman. I'm here covering this event for San Diego Uptown News. And I guess you'd say I'm with the First Amendment tradition.
Welcome. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Bill, say who you are.
I'm William West. I'm with Plymouth Congressional Church.
I'm Michael Gonzalez, a one-time church planter in Claremont, now the pastor of Plymouth Congregational Church down the street.
I forgot you were a church planter also. Interesting. Reverend, Father?
Thank you. I'm Lynn Clements. I have a dubious relationship with a couple of community characters, and that is my association.
Oh, my name is Danny. I go to the Church of Nazarene on 41st and on my university.
All right. Michelle?
I'm Michelle Shoemaker, and I'm from Point Loma Nazarene University, attend the church on campus up there. And I work here.
Elizabeth?
I'm Elizabeth Maldonado Robinson, on staff with the Interfaith Center for Worker Justice, and I attend Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church and the Rock in Point Loma.
My name is Dermot Rogers. I'm a priest of the Communion of Independent Catholic Churches and a chaplain up the street here at Auntie Helen's in a street ministry to the homeless and people with HIV, AIDS, and in recovery.
Good afternoon. I'm Bernita Gutierrez, and I am here as representative of Planned Parenthood of the Pacific Southwest. I'm the director of community engagement, and I'm interested in engaging with the community.
Hi, I'm Deborah Huggins. I'm a member of Bethel AME Church.
Joyce Parks, and I'm a member of Bethel AME Church.
Bridget Jordan, Bethel AME Church.
We got our good, it's amazing, all our favorite ladies from Bethel AME. Thank you so much for being here, and look how broad we are. I mean, look how diverse we are in faith traditions here. It's really, really interesting. Most of you are of Christian traditions, but a wide variety with a large variety of beliefs. Terry, you didn't introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Terry Bunting, and I'm with the California Nurses Association, and I attend the First Unitarian Universalist Church in Hillcrest.
And next to Terry, did you introduce
My name
yourself?
is Carol Spong, and I am with the Mary Magdalene Apostle Catholic Community.
So welcome. So, and look, and you're sitting next to each other. So we are from a broad variety of traditions, and our goal here for our lunch and learns was to delve more deeply into our respective traditions, to talk about the connection to social justice. And so at the table, I think, pastor leaders, you have already seen we have lots of leadership here and lots of ideas. My hope is that we will not have a debate as much as an opportunity to open our minds. Those of us who are not of Christian traditions at the table, some of this will be new for us. So those of you who are lifelong Christians, this will be information and ideas that you breathe. But for those of us who are not, this could be very, very new, and we will learn a lot from this. So we are all learners at the table. We have our inquisitive minds, and I want to introduce you to the president of our organization, Reverend Lee Hill. He is a Christian Fellowship congregation. He's UCC and Baptist, right? So he straddles a lot of theological learnings, and he's an incredible teacher and leader. And then I want you, and when were you ordained? We were talking about it before.
I was ordained in 2005.
2000, I guess,
in
2006.
North Carolina.
In North Carolina in 2006. Sitting beside him is Reverend Wayne Riggs. He is our founder. He was for many, many years chaplain, Major Senior Grand Poobah chaplain of the Navy, but then he finished his career as being the pastor at Plymouth Congregational Church, where Pastor Michael is right now, and he was ordained in 1953. So they're almost 50 years apart in ordination. And so the reason why I wanted both of them to talk to us today is that we are all evolving as religionists. We all evolve in our theology, and I thought, what better for us to be led by two gentlemen committed to walking the social justice of their tradition, and that they can introduce to us how they see it, and we can talk with you as well, right? There'll be plenty of room for us to talk with you, and lots of questions. There's delicious tangerines on the table, some chips, and some trail mix, and I'm going to refill the trail mix, and so that there are more M&Ms left in it. So pass the trail mix. Irene, will you pass the trail mix to me? So gentlemen, and in your loudest voices if you can do that.
And so we'll begin just by sharing just a little bit more about ourselves and somewhat of our faith journeys. And then we really wanted to go and kind of start at what we felt was the beginning. So my name is Lee Hill. I am originally from the East Coast, was born and raised in Virginia. Grew up in a very small, family-centered Baptist home. Both of my parents are ordained Baptist ministers, my mom being the first woman to be ordained in our area as a deacon in the life of the Baptist church tradition. Went to school at Florida A&M University, and ended up finishing at George Mason in Northern Virginia. Studied theology at Wake Forest University, Howard University, Princeton, and most recently moved to San Diego from New York City, where I served at the Riverside Church in the city of New York, which is a very famed church with William Sloane Coffin, Dr. James Forbes. It was a church that first began the sanctuary movement, providing shelter and space for families to live and dwell. And so a very, very active and social justice church community. And from Riverside, found my way into life in the United Church of Christ, which is a progressive denomination, to say the very least, and still remain grounded and rooted in my Baptist church tradition. So I stand fully in both of those church traditions as an ordained clergy person. I'm married. My wife works for CPI, the Center on Policy Initiatives, and is the program director there. Her name is Christy Hill, and we have a 3-year-old son and are expecting in July.
Oh, wow. All right.
I'm Wayne Briggs, also a native Virginian. I started college in Johnson Bible College, a small college east of Knoxville, Tennessee. Began my preaching ministry in black cell blocks at Knox County Jail. As a Southerner, I became well informed of the injustice that many of our fellow Americans face every day. And that informed my ministry and made me a much better Navy chaplain, because I could see the difficulties that so many young enlisted members had. A kind of officer enlisted prejudice that existed. And so that helped me. However, I knew I wanted an education beyond the Bible college, so I transferred Lynchburg College in Virginia, which was fully accredited. And from there, I served two small churches in rural Virginia, the Blue Ridge Mountains, from 1951 to 1953, under the supervision of my major professor. He was convinced that I should be ordained because both the churches thrived, and he also knew that I was going to seminary because I had an academic scholarship at Phillips Seminary in Oklahoma. So I was ordained the 10th of May, 1953 at the age of 21. I went, while I was at Phillips Seminary, which I made a 4-year program because I served the church in South Central Kansas for those 4 years. And that was also a very helpful ministry in terms of looking at the differences, how theology does affect and how it should affect our behavior. Because I brought together two fairly different traditions, at least in the Midwest, a Methodist and a Christian church in that small town, where they couldn't afford even a part-time minister, but they could afford me because I needed help getting through seminary. Financial help. I worked my way through both college and seminary. So, I did ranching, worked on a ranch where we branded 10,000 head of calves every spring for 3 years. I unloaded drilling mud for Philip Petroleum in Enid, all kinds of jobs, and that's the reason I really identify with working people. This is my favorite clergy shirt. So I wear it in public. My tradition as the Congregationalist you don't see many who wear the collar. But I found my identity in the Navy by having a uniform that somewhere on there identified me as the chaplain. Brought many people to talk with me about things that concerned them, that troubles in their lives and so forth, including people with suicidal ideology and so on. So the identity as a person of faith was always important to me. So when I took the pastorate at Plymouth, I started wearing the collar. Not to my surprise at all, people would ask a grocery clerk or a clerk behind a counter in a drugstore somewhere, dishing out ice cream, would ask for a prayer. Well, they don't know me from Adam, but they are searching. And so this identity has always been important to me. Other things informed me for the need for an organization like the Interfaith Committee for Worker Justice. That people of faith, while there are many differences, there are similarities that bring us together. And one of the things that really indelibly impressed me, upon me, was co-teaching a class at the Naval War College in Newport, Rhode Island. My last assignment with the Navy was the director of the chaplain school, where I indoctrinated, if you will, people from all faith traditions who were coming in to serve as chaplains. And I co-taught a course at the War College with a rabbi who was on my staff, and with a member of the faculty of Harvard University's School for the Study of Interfaith Studies. The title of the course was Faith and Force religion, war, and peace. And the job of each of us was to present the views from our own source of authority, which basically for most was the scriptures, except the scriptures varied. Many Christians called the Jewish scripture the Old Testament. Remember, it's the Bible to them. It is the book. Christian scriptures are contained in the New Testament, but as all Christian bodies represented here know, we really draw heavily upon the scriptures, the Jewish scriptures, and relate to those scriptures very, very closely in many, many respects. Islam, of course, has its own holy scriptures. So each of us presented, but the important thing is the people that we were presenting to. They were members of all of our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, of State Department representatives who came to the War College classes, who were going to be assigned, most of them to the Middle East, and of 13 friendly nations, which include Israel, and a number of Arab nations. The enrollment was 60 people. It stopped at 60 people. It was a 3-hour seminar. And for the first time in the lives of many of those people, they sat around the table as Christians, Muslims, and Jews to speak for the first time and to listen for the first time to people from another tradition. Now, there were several learnings from that, and that is that number one, we have far too little dialogue with one another. Because through dialogue, the people who came to that course learned that, yes, there are a lot of differences, but there are also a lot of things that bring us together. That if we could just begin to look at the things that we hold in common, we might be able to find sensible solutions to the differences. And one of the things that we learned was that at the beginning, you compare the best of your own Holy Writ, your own scriptures, to the worst that you find in the other people's scriptures. You know, the best in your own is love, and the worst in theirs is hate and adversarial relations and name calling and all those kind of things. But when you get down to the bottom of it, the common human denominator of wanting for ourselves peace, an opportunity to move toward prosperity, an opportunity to live our lives without fear. You know, these were the common denominators. When I became involved with the Interfaith Committee at its inception, it really was 15 years ago, what we talked about were the principles under which faith traditions could work together to make a difference in our society. So those are the principles, the guiding principles. They've been worked over a little bit as we go along. But if you have, if you get a handout from the Interfaith Committee, you'll see what the principles are, and you'll see that that so many of the campaigns in which we have engaged have made a tremendous difference in the lives of a lot of people, people whose names we can't call, but whose faces we remember, and who themselves make a difference in our society. So that essentially the purpose of our trying to come together, and I hope that we will that will all come for as many of the sessions as we can. If can't come for all the sessions, we were gonna ask Bill West if he would film these each week, at least through the first 5 series. Next week will be Sister Justine with Roman Catholic theology and its relationship to the interfaith committee work. The week after that will be Laurie. The week after that will be Unitarian Universalists. And so we plan to
I think
look
Imam Taha also.
at Imam Taha and then Unitarian
And
Universalists.
our relationship is a little broader. It's not to the work of I.C.W.J, it's to the idea of
Yeah,
social justice.
Of social justice,
Social
yes.
justice. Lee, do you wanna talk to us about Christianity and social
Yeah,
justice?
so today, Lee and I are supposed to in the hour that we have left, tell you all about Protestant Christianity and evangelical movement. So it's gonna be a very broad brush. Let me first clarify one thing, that, the word Protestant means to protest. That's its root word. And many people believe that Protestantism began with the Reformers. But Protestants and evangelicals alike trace the beginning of our faith tradition to the day of Pentecost, the very beginning of the church, found in the book of Acts, the 2nd chapter. And so we do not see ourselves as products of